lovelies, Larissaj here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I have my husband with me.
How y'all doing?
Johnson. So today, and you have to excuse my hair. We just came back from date night, and I just had to throw it up. I'm getting tired now.
But you look great, baby.
Thank you, babe. But yeah, so don't worry about the hair. But we wanted to come on here and talk about. I got a few questions regarding courtship. So I decided I'm going to do a 2-part video on courtship. Today, I have Javan here. We're going to talk about courting. Now what? So this is for those of you who enter into a courtship and now you want to know what the next step is. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2 because I intend to do a second video talking about other things like questions and things like that you should ask.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so going back to our courtship time is going to be something that we do just as an example, as reference, because obviously that's our experience. But you think about like when you are, what is it, like you're just single and you be praying and praying and praying for somebody to come. And then finally, all of a sudden, the person they just appear. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, is this real? Did you feel like that? I felt like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can relate to those emotions. And yeah, I mean, because the thing about it is when you're seeking God, you want to be in His will. You want to make sure you're doing things His way. And then that person comes along and they start, like, they're what you're looking for. They're what you wanted. And, you know, at that point, it's exciting. You know, you start seeking God just to make sure that you get that confirmation. And then if you do, you move forward.
But you're also like that Home Alone boy when he's like... Because it's like, oh my gosh, is this real? So anyway, so that's where we're at. So you were single and you're believing God for somebody, and now you've met someone and you're courting. So what happened for us, well, you tell what happened for us.
Well, you want the
that
loan?
Great day. No, we had time for loan.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started courting.
So when we picked it up, so what it was like, for people who don't know, like, we was long distance. And so we got the opportunity to, I got the opportunity to meet our family. And then it was like a Sunday where we actually, I got the opportunity to go to her church service, have dinner with her family. And then it was after that was when we actually officially started courting. And, it was a very exciting day. And then from there, I wanted to make it clear to her that, I intended to marry her. And I can even remember us walking around and, I remember telling her, like, this was not going to be like every other relationship. I was going to marry her. So, yeah.
I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yes.
So what we did, before we got to that point, we were talking. We were talking for a few months until the courtship. So we started courting. One of the first things I said was, "Yes, does this mean you're my boyfriend now?"
Right.
And that was just exciting for me because I, hadn't been like in a relationship. Like, I wasn't like dating. I talked to a lot of people in the past, but I wasn't like always dating. So I was like, "Oh, you're my boyfriend!" Like, it was exciting. But anyway, okay, so we had started courting, and then, what happened, okay, let's talk about courtship. The purpose of courtship is to see if you two are compatible for marriage. And I know sometimes there's some confusion with some people as far as that, but the way that we did it was we were courting for the intent of marriage. Like, are we compatible for marriage? So your courtship phases, there's only one phase. Your courtship phase is to see... Can I see myself marrying this person? Is this person compatible for me to marry?
Right.
And then if no, let them go. If yes, then you proceed to engagement.
Right.
Just so exciting.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about just like what you're supposed to do during that phase because it's quite important, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was like, really getting to know that person. I mean, even before then, you're getting to know the person, but then kind of asking like specific questions, kind of seeing where you guys stand on certain issues, so to speak, kind of making sure you're on the same page. That's very important, when you're moving towards marriage.
How can two walk together unless they be agreed? So your courtship phase is you seeing if y'all can walk together and be in agreement for a lifetime. So you're, like he said, you're definitely going to cover those important things. Now is not the time to be talking about, do you like tacos? Is your favorite food pizza? What's your favorite movie? Did you see that one back in the day? Like, y'all should have done that in the talking phase. Like, at this point, it's kind of more like a more serious conversation. You're going to be talking about, your beliefs
right.
spiritually, your faith, and kind of get deep in that. It's not just like, oh, you go to church on Sunday, me too. Like, it's more than that. And then also talking about like your lifestyle. For us, it was like, do you drink? Do you smoke?
Right.
Do you have tattoos? You know, are you celibate?
Right.
That kind of thing. All of those types of conversations. All of those types of conversations need to be had. What else?
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, because like, I mean, we both established, you know, that we were believers before the courtship.
Yeah.
All right, so we both established that we were believers before the courtship. But the thing about it is, you still want to make sure you're on the same page, because there's even, you know, two believers may believe two separate things about certain issues, you know. So I mean, I think that's very important as well, to make sure, because like neither one of us drink alcohol. And so, you know, that was something we both wanted. We wanted somebody who didn't drink alcohol. Right. So, like, even stuff like that as well.
And even, like, basic everyday life things. Because the person that you're married with is the person you don't see every day.
Right.
For the rest of your life. So, even, like, things like toilet paper. I mean, if you're that type of person who's going to have an issue, that might be the time to have that conversation. Do you leave your toilet paper hanging over on the top or underneath? Or do you not even put the toilet paper back on the roll after you used it? Like, have those types of conversations, lifestyle conversations. Are you clean? Are you messy? Are you sloppy? Do you clean up after yourself? Right. Are you a night owl? Are you an early bird? We did have all these conversations. I'm an early bird, not the night owl. You called yourself a night hawk. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the thing about it is, I'm kind of like both.
But do you remember saying night hawk?
Yeah, because I would stay up late. I would stay up late.
I'm not an owl. I'm a hawk.
Right, yeah.
But, so you need to stop. So you need to cover all of those types of things, because those are lifestyle things. Do you go to the gym? Do you work out? Do you eat healthy? What's your diet like? Are you addicted to sugar? Do you like a lot of sugar? Do you drink coffee, tea, those kinds of things? So all of those are like lifestyle conversations. And obviously you're not going to have these conversations all in one sitting.
Right.
This is like throughout the course of your courtship. And like I said, I plan on doing a part 2 to this, where we actually get into... You going to join me?
I'll join you.
Well, we'll see what happens, but there's going to be another video getting into like some specific questions, because I did have questions about that as well. Today I'm just talking about like what happens after you start courting. Right. So those types of conversations are the conversations that you should be having. You should be going out on dates, like going out, spending time together. Yes, together to get to know one another and see each other in different settings, but also you want to get to know, like, be around other people that are important to the person that you're in a courtship with. So it may not just be all... With courtship, typically, it's not always just y'all two all the time. You're typically going to go out with family, friends, church events to see how that person is around their family, to see how that person is when they're with their friends. It's going to be important, too. So don't just stick to, oh, it's just me and you, boo, and we going out on a date every week, but make sure that you include other people as well, just so that you can see how that person interacts.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's like you're building. You're continuing to build, and you're continuing to get to know that person. But you know, you're doing it with the mindset of heading towards marriage. And so the things that are important, that's the time to have conversations like Larissa was talking about earlier about those things. So if there's things that you know that's very important to you, that you know that aren't necessarily things that may have came up in the past, but it's very important. You definitely want to make sure that you bring it up.
As time progresses, also start talking about like expectations, the way that you think that marriage should be, the way that they think that marriage should be, just so you can see if you guys have the same vision there. Do you want kids one day? Do you not want kids? Like, now is the time to talk about that. Obviously, if you just started courting yesterday, you're not going to go all that deep, but like I said, throughout the progression of your relationship, those types of questions should be coming up.
Absolutely.
What else?
Yeah, so I think the thing about it is, even like Larissa was talking about, you know, you get an opportunity to know that person, get an opportunity to know their friends and family and things like that. And so, I mean, I think that the biggest thing of it is to enjoy that process as well. I mean, with us, like, we were long distance, and so I think the big thing to take in mind is to know your situation and to seek God about your situation. Because for us being long distance, you know, it may be different than somebody who's in the same town with somebody as far as just like the frequency and everything. But for us, you know, sometimes like she may come out for like an event that was going on, so it worked out to where she got the opportunity to meet like a bunch of people. Like I know for one event, it was like a big event to where it was like a lot of my family was there, like extended family and things like that. So she got to meet like, you know, uncles and aunts as well. Yeah, so I think that, you know, I think everybody's situation is different in the regards as far as like, you know, your relationship. But I think there are some things that you want to make sure that you cover, and definitely certain things that are important to you. Even when it comes to going back to, you know, with you both being believers, is making sure even doctrinally there's some things, you know, like you're on the same page. Like, you know, there's certain things we both believe that I know that not everybody necessarily believes. Like, for instance, we both speak in tongues, you know, and we both believe in being spirit-filled. So, I mean, these are things that, like, you know, you want to make sure you talk about these things so it's not like, you know, if she hear me praying in tongues one day and, you know, we never discussed that and she didn't believe in that, she might be like, okay, what's going on? Like, what is this? You know, type of thing. So I feel like we got to make sure that, I feel like the person needs to make sure that, you know, everything is addressed, you know, as much as you can think about prayerfully, you know.
Go to church together, go to his church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Y'all go to each other's churches.
Yeah.
We did do that. Kind of see what they're used to. Don't do all your dates at a movie theater because you can't talk. You're not supposed to be talking in the movie theater. So, you know, keep it versatile in the places that you choose to go. Maybe open up for different experiences.
And like another thing, you know, pray together, read the Bible together. Even if you're long distance, you know, you can get over the phone and you can, you know, get into the Word together as well.
Cook together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we cooked together. I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a video. We did a video on that.
Yeah.
I think that's in one of my videos. I have to see which video that's in. But yeah, I remember that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of what your courtship season is for. One thing that I like to emphasize is make sure that you're intentional. This is not just a time like, ooh, I got a boo now. We got, you know, we can snuggle during the winter time and I have somebody for the holidays. Like, it's definitely beyond that, and you want to make sure that you're using this time to set the stage for your marriage. If you marry this person, you just have to think, and you'll know, when you're courting the person, we all know in here if this is someone that we're going to end up with or we just wasting time. So if you're honest with yourself, you'll know if this is the person. And if it is, then you know that this is your opportunity to lay the foundation for what you want your marriage to be like with this person. And when I say that, I'm talking about the way that you talk to each other, the way that you treat each other, your conversations, just that kind of foundation. That's the expectation going into marriage. Because it doesn't change just because you know, in your white dress at the altar and say, I do. It's not like all of a sudden you change the way that you interacted with one another. So whatever you're doing now is what's going to follow you in the marriage. So just make sure you're on point here, and it'll follow. Like, even like when we were recording, he opened my doors and paid for everything, and it's still the same way. It just carried on the way that we talk to each other, treat each other. So make sure that you're intentional about that as well. Do you have anything to add?
Great job, baby. Great video. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2.
Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.